All right, this video is going to ruffle a lot of feathers. It's probably going to be very controversial, but hear me out. I promise you want to watch until the end. Even if you are involved in high ticket sales, even if you are a salesperson or interested in sales, I promise you this is going to be valuable for you. So what I want to do is I want to talk about why high ticket sales is dead and what you should be doing instead. Now, that's not saying that no one makes money from it and that all these people that claim they have are lying. That is not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is there's a lot of BS and you need to be aware of it. So what I'm going to cover is exactly why high ticket sales is not the best option for you, especially if you're interested in it or you're already involved in it. And then I'm going to show you what is a better option and why. And then I'm going to show you exactly how to do that better option instead of leaving you questioning everything and still confused. So consider this kind of a free course, to be honest. Most gurus that you follow probably would sell this for thousands and thousands of dollars. I just want to educate you and make you better informed. Now, I recommend you do watch until the end, and I promise you I know what I'm talking about. I recently sold a company for $1.2 million at the age of 24, and I just scaled a new offer to $50,000 per month, and I have the screenshots to show for it. So you can see how much value you're going to get in this, but I have the screenshots to show for it as well. So you can see, this is a month to date, but the proof is there. So I'm not just speaking about it because I want to sell you something. What I'm doing though is highlighting a big issue that I've seen. And so what I want to cover immediately is what high ticket closing is at the core of it, and then also what it's like to actually start your own offer in comparison. And now if you're someone who just, you like sales because you don't want to be the one thinking of the idea, selling the thing, finding the leads, etc., I understand that. But I promise you it's simpler than that. And whoever has told you that it's difficult to start your own business or do your own offer, they're lying. And they probably try to sell you on high ticket closing. So what I want to talk about is basically the difference to begin with, so you can understand where I'm coming from. Now, high ticket closing is a skill. It is not necessarily this tangible thing that you own, right? Yes, of course, the skill never goes away. You do own that thing. But starting your own offer is essentially a business. Like, it's a vehicle that you can take somewhere. A skill is what you use to scale a business or a vehicle. So of course you need the skill. There's nothing I'm saying about that, which is great, because if you have the skill already or you're looking to build the skill, you're probably in a better position than anyone else starting a business. But now here's the difference, right? With high ticket closing, what they don't tell you is the income stability is not there. So your income is dependent on someone else's lead flow, meaning that you have to rely on them to generate really high quality leads or run ads or spend money to acquire people, which not a lot of people do well. The second thing is, if you have one slow week, you pretty much earn nothing. And then lastly, you have no base salary most of the time. Usually you just earn on commission, which means that there's very unpredictable revenue. Now, aside from that, you cannot really control the pipeline, right? You rely fully on the offer and the owner to run ads and generate interest. And if they stop spending, you essentially stop earning. Whereas when you start your own business and your own offer, you essentially control the demand and the pricing. You can stack clients, retainers, and upsells. And essentially that means that your income compounds instead of it being once off every single month. And then aside from that, you have predictable monthly revenue that grows. And just at the core of it, you have control over everything. You own the amount of leads that come through. You control the ads, the outreach, partnerships, the funnels, everything. And you decide how many you want to come through. So if you want to close 10 people this month, you can decide on that. And whereas most people don't have capacity for that. So they're not going to make you go to a point where you earn hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. So here's the illusion, right? With high ticket sales, what they do really well is they tell you this dream. They call out your pain points. They're saying, hey, this is for you if you're sick and tired of your 9 to 5, or if you want to earn a living without a degree or without having a normal job, and if you want to work from anywhere. So you're paying attention because these are all elements that apply to pretty much anyone in the world, but they make it sound like it's specific to you. They're calling out all these things of like, hey, do you want to work from anywhere? Make $20,000 per month and work on your own terms. This is the dream, right? This is what everyone wants. So you are going to pay attention, and they're telling you that high ticket closing is what's going to get you there. Now, the issue is there's an invisible ceiling with high ticket closing, which is that you can only take so many calls per day. You cannot develop the assets. You can't hire yourself out. So it's not like you can bring someone in to do the calls for you. And you can't scale because you can't decide how many people you want to sell to. That is decided by the owner that you're selling for. Now, someone who does this incredibly well, don't get me wrong, and this is not me slating her by any means. I think she's great at what she does, fucking smart. But Shelby Sapp, we've all heard of her, very likely. If you're watching this video, you've definitely heard of her. And essentially, she's like put herself in this position where she is the number one female trainer. And what she tells you is that high ticket closing gets you all of these results, right? So she's the one saying, hey, if you do high ticket closing, you can work from anywhere. You don't have to work your 9 to 5. You can make up to $20,000 per month, and you can work on your own terms. So she's putting this out there that, you know, she made all her fortunes from selling. And so she's going to coach you on how to do the same thing. But there's a lot of smoke and mirrors, because the trick is that that's not how she makes her money. The real way she makes her money is from selling you on her coaching, on her courses, and on her academy. So it's a very, very clever model, and all the gurus do it. Don't worry, it's not just her. Like, there's no hate to her. It is the way to make money, unfortunately, online, is to pull the smoke and mirrors, tell everyone that, you know, this one thing is how you make money, when really the way to make money is them selling you on that thing. So Iman Gadzi does it so well. He is incredibly, incredibly talented at this, where he tells you that you can make money from doing coaching, you can make money from doing an agency, but what he's really making his money from is coaching, which is why he doesn't do an agency anymore. So with that in mind, here is the real smoke and mirrors, right? This is how they're getting you. And this is what I want you to understand, so you can identify it the next time it happens. The same way that you do it on your sales calls, right? You try to ask them questions, get closer to who they are and their pain points. And so they do the same thing, just without needing a call with you. Now, what they're doing is that first thing, they're calling out your pain point. So this is the first hook. They essentially say, hey, are you at a job that you hate? Are you stuck working a 9 to 5? Which is like 90% of people. So you're immediately going to pay attention, because this suits you. Like, this is something that is a pain point to you, so you're going to pay attention. Second thing is they're painting the dream life. So once they know that you're paying attention, they're going to say, hey, well, imagine working from anywhere, whenever you want. And this sounds amazing. So you're going to pay attention, because you're hoping that they're going to tell you how. Then step number 3 is they're going to tell you the outcome. So they don't really tell you how, but they are telling you that there's a way, and it's this one thing. So they never tell you the hard part. They tell you the results. They say, hey, well, with high ticket closing, you're going to earn $10,000 per month, and you're pretty much sold. You're like, okay, cool. Well, I am working on 9 to 5. I do want to work from anywhere. And if I can make $10,000 per month from this, I'm sure I'll have the freedom. And so you're already bought in. But then they do the final step in this, where they show you case studies and testimonials. And look, I'm not saying that Shelby does this, but a lot of them do, where they'll show testimonials and case studies and the amount that they make. But that amount is not coming from them doing sales. It is actually coming from them selling a program or a course. Typical. So this is essentially what a website looks like. And you can see she's essentially pushing you towards this free masterclass. And on this, what's going to happen is she's going to do this exact method. She's going to get you on for free value. And suddenly she's going to tell you how her life looks right now. She's going to say, hey, this is, if you're working a 9 to 5, I'm going to solve this for you. She's going to show you the life that she lives with her pink Porsche, her pink Rolls Royce, or whatever it is. And then she's going to tell you the way that she got this dream life was with sales, which is not true. To like a lot of degree, it is not going to be true. And so they bring you in through the smoke and mirrors method. Now, let's break down the pricing and earning. Let's like get to the real grid of this. So with high ticket closing, typical commission sharing like 10 to 15%. It can be a lot higher, don't get me wrong. I personally pay my closer like 50%. You're probably wondering, okay, well, if that's true, then why am I watching this? Because it clearly works. I'll get to that. So let's just say the typical commission is 10 to 15%. And the average high ticket program price is around $3,000 to $8,000. So you close a $5,000 program. Now you're earning about $500 to $750 per close. So let's just say that this owner sends you about 20 calls a week, and you close 20 to 30% of them, which is an all right closing rate. And you pretty much close like 2 to 3 of those sales per week. That's about 1 to 2K per week, which means that you'll be making around $4,000 to $8,000 per month. And to a lot of people, that's going to be amazing, especially when you can work on your own time and you have the freedom to do it anyway. And that's enough for a lot of people. So that's fair enough. Like if you like this model, that's totally fair. But I want you to be aware of what the other reality is. Now, when you have your own offer, the average retainer stays the same. Nothing changes. The average program price is $3,000 to $8,000, except now it's per month, because a lot of them are recurring basis. So coaching, 3K per month, or a course can be a one-time offer. Or if you run an agency, for example, like I have, you sell for essentially these retainers per month. And the benefit of this is that you get 100% of that on your own, or if you have a team, it's about 80% of that. So for example, let's say you close a 3K retainer and you close about 4 clients a month, which is way less than what you have to do, if you're running your own, right? Instead of having to close 20 to 30% of like 20 something calls or 40 something, 60 something calls. Instead, what you're doing is you just need to close 4 clients. So you don't need to close tons of these calls just to get to 12K per month. That's guaranteed and compounding. So this is not like the cap. This is the minimum. So if you just close retainers and you close 4 clients and that's it, and you never close anyone again, and you keep those clients happy, that's going to be a guaranteed 12K per month because it doesn't fluctuate. So those stay retainers. And keep in mind, let's just say that you close 4 every single month. That's 12K this month, 24K next month, and then 36K the following month, and it will keep compounding. And that is the real key to actually making money. Now, let's just say this, worst case scenario. Let's say that you're charging 2K per month for a retainer for whatever reason, like you're really undercutting the market. Now, you just need to close 3 to make 6K, 5 to make 10K, and 10 to make 20K. So let's say for argument's sake, you don't need a team to fulfill because you don't want to do or you do need a team to fulfill because you don't want to do the work. So you pay someone or you pay for ads to make sure, that they deliver or that you're getting consistent clients. So let's just say you're spending 3K per month on something, either a person or on ads to deliver the service. And that's $3,000 away from your profit of 12K. Fair enough. And then you pay someone to take calls and they close, 4 calls. So they're making about 2K per month. So you have about 5K of expenses. You essentially have 7K profit per month doing nothing. You pretty much have to spend maybe 2 hours a week managing the team if we really want to be reasonable about like the expectations, right? So 7K doing nothing, or around 4 to 8K doing tons and tons and tons of calls, which are about 33 hours, right? Per week, by the way. So that ends up being more than a full-time job. And yes, you're getting paid a little bit better maybe than your full-time job, but it's not the best option out there. So this should break down the pricing really clearly for you and what the potential is. And again, here's my own example. Now, my closer earned really well in this month, don't get me wrong, but now we're at capacity. But I will continue to make 50K per month, and his earning drops, which, it's not something I can control. It's just that we're at capacity. So I have to pause the ads. I have to pause him taking calls, which means that he's not going to earn as much this month, if anything, because we're at capacity. And this is what's going to happen with a lot of the offers and a lot of the sales that you do, is it's very dependent on the owner. I've chosen to stop ads, which means that it directly impacts someone's revenue or earning. And it's not my fault. Like, this is just how to operate the company. And so you can see that, in this month that we did 50K, this is a screenshot from Stripe. I have a video of it on my story highlights if you want to see me refreshing, by the way. And you can see the other additional payments that weren't accounted for directly into the account, into the bank account. So it was just over 50K. And I'm great because I can guarantee I'm going to make that every single month. And now my expenses drop dramatically because I'm not spending on ads, I'm not spending on a closer, and I'm just keeping my clients happy, which means I'm sitting at 50K with about 80% profit margins. And all I do is I have a simple offer, I know my niche, and I do some lead generation. It is so automated, it's insane. All I do, which I have like in an hour after filming this, is a team call. And that's it. Just make sure everything is working. So I'm using my skills to manage a team instead of doing all the labor myself. And so this is how you can get started. That's probably the question sitting on your mind. That high ticket sales is not the only option out there. It is an option, don't get me wrong, and you can earn well, but you can earn better. And I would hope that anyone watching this video wants more out of life and more reliability. And so here's what happens when you're getting started, right? All you need to do right now, pause this video and do this. Write down your skills and figure out what you would offer. Because keep in mind, you can offer coaching, you can offer an agency service, you can offer anything that is service-based so that it's very low, low capital needed. You don't need capital. You're not like selling a product that you need to buy. But what I want you to do is write down your skills. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. I did this when I first started out when I was 17 and made my first million. And the way that I did it is I literally just wrote out my skills on a piece of paper, like social media management I was good at, sales I was decent at. So I wrote down all the things that were interesting, that I was, a skill to me, industries I knew really well. I wrote those all down. And then circle the one that you can see yourself spending the most amount of time with. In your case, maybe it's just sales. Maybe that is your number one skill, and that's great. Now, the next step is, once you figure that out, find out who you want to sell to. So what I call this is an ICP. So your ideal customer profile. The best way to figure this out is you want to find people that look like you, okay? So people that look like you, meaning that you want to find someone that is similar to you in age, that you want to target people that are somewhat in your position. So what Shelby does really well is she knows her ICP is anyone working a 9 to 5 because they're unhappy. People in their 20s to 30s because she's young 20. So anyone older is very likely not going to listen to her. And female because that's exactly who looks like her. So putting all those factors into place, they really look like her, which means that she can sell to them very easily. So figure out who you want to sell to, and then you can sell them that skill. You're essentially going to circle back and say, okay, I'm selling sales to people that are stuck in a 9 to 5, that are unhappy with their 9 to 5, want a little bit more freedom, are in their early 20s, and are female. That's what Shelby did. And so now what you want to do is you want to figure out, where are my target audience? Like, where are they sitting right now? Shelby figured out that they're on Instagram, Reels, and TikTok. So those three main platforms is essentially what she's targeting. She's running ads to them. She's making viral reels around that. And so she's targeting exactly where they are. So this is platforms. But let's say that you want to sell a service and you want to sell advertising. Figure out who it is and what industry. So maybe it's a car dealership or, I don't know, a nail salons around the country. Then you know that they're probably sitting on Facebook because it's an older audience, or they're probably sitting on LinkedIn. Try and figure out where they are. And now what you're going to do is you're going to start doing outreach. So once you figure out where they are, you want to start finding out how to reach out to them. So if they're on Instagram and TikTok, you want to start doing organic content and running ads to acquire them. Or you want to save money. You don't want to do any ads. You don't want to do anything that costs money. Start doing cold DMs. Start doing cold calls. You're already good with sales if you're watching this probably. So use that to your advantage and build your own profit. Now, once you get to a point that you're starting to get people in and you start making money from this, you can hire it and you can scale so that you don't have to do the work yourself, which means that you're unlocking tons of freedom, way more than high ticket sales. So now here's how you can figure out your offer a little bit better, right? Just to break this down for you. Again, this is usually an individual course. I'm going to go into detail about this. Essentially, I have another video about this that's a little bit more detailed, so feel free to watch that. But here's how you figure out your offer. You have a done-for-you offer, which means you can charge like 5 to 15K per client, which is great, but it is a high complexity because you're in the weeds doing the work, or you have to hire someone to do it. The scalability can be low, but honestly, I kind of disagree. I think it can be really, really good. This is what we do. This is how we got to 50K very easily in a span of 6 months. Now, this is when to use it. If you're just starting out and you need cash fast, then 100% this niche works best. But there's some complexity. And what done for you means is you're essentially delivering the service to these people. So let's just say that you offer running ads, okay? You're coming in and you are essentially running ads for someone else instead of them touching it. So you're taking that off of their plate. Or in your case, like let's use the high ticket closing example. You're coming in and you're doing high ticket closing for a company. That's a done for you. Except you can charge really high for it if you position it well. And so that's a done for you. Now, done with you is essentially like a coaching offer. This is where you sell a coaching offer or mentorship where you're not actually building the company for them or doing the ads for them, but you're teaching them how to run ads, or you're teaching them high ticket sales. So this is kind of the model that a lot of people use in the service-based industry, or it's consulting, right? You come in, you show a company how to do something, you give them some systems and you leave. You're not actually doing the fulfillment of running the ads for them or reporting to them. Then comes the real money, which is what Shelby and everyone else is doing, right? So this is what Shelby Saps does. She does coaching and consulting and group coaching programs. So at this point, you kind of remove yourself. You never jump on a call with her one-on-one unless you do it phenomenally well with your high ticket sales. But this is the highest earning potential and the easiest scalability because you can get in as many people as you want because they just go to a course. There's no limit to who you can work with. And the same with the group coaching. You're even less limited with your time because now you can just run people through this funnel and you do not do anything. Like, you are not part of the process at all. Whereas the one-to-one coaching is great and you can charge a lot more for this, but you have to be present and you have to be there to coach them through everything. And that's a mentorship. And so that's what Iman Ghazi used to do. And then he moved to a group coaching when he realized he could make a lot more money with less of his time. So that's essentially how to figure out your offer. What do you want for yourself? Do you want something that is, you can get other people to fulfill? Do you want something that's easy? You want to target people instead of businesses? Really think about it and pay attention to this. Pause this video, read the explanation for everything and see what you could potentially do. And I promise you, this is going to be a game changer to you. This is how you're going to go from doing high ticket closing and this false narrative that's been put in front of you and actually build something real, something tangible, something that is long lasting and is not reliant on someone else. If you already know how to sell, I promise you it's going to be way more beneficial to sell that as a coaching offer and sell people on your coaching instead of selling someone else's offer. So again, if it's not for you, that's totally fine. But if you do want a little bit more for your life and you want a little bit more freedom, then I recommend this. Now, if you reach the end of the video, then congratulations, you don't have the attention span of a fruit fly. But I recommend that you go down below. And if you do want some mentorship from someone who's actually done this, not from the thing that they're, not from coaching, but from actually running an agency and from doing coaching, like I'm telling you where I'm getting my money from and I'm showing you how to do that same thing, then go down below and book in a call. It is not really for people who are not making enough right now. Unlike Shelby, I don't want to take on and prey on people that are, stuck in a 9-to-5, and I'm happy to help those people. But I want to make sure that you know exactly what you want to do and that you have some disposable income to pay for the mentorship, because it's not cheap and it's not free. But I would rather attract the right people that are in a good position. Otherwise, I recommend watching my other videos. So hope this was helpful. Hope you will jump on a call and I look forward to it.